Hi, everyone. Michael Sandler here, your host on Inspire Nation, along with an off-camera Jessica Lee, who's running everything behind the scenes, and a very, very slightly off-camera Lumiere. And somewhere hiding behind me is my mother-in-law this evening. No pressure. If I scan over, do you want to, Esther, you want to hop up and down there again like you were just doing? Oh, this is going to be a goodie. So Jessica was saying, Michael, you're not feeling so well tonight. Why would you even consider holding class? Well, because Esther Lee is visiting here this evening, because this does bring me a lot of joy, and because I'm going to do my best to both keep it short and bring the energy up, which means that something that Jessica has us do for each of our classes at the start, I am going to have everybody drop and give me 10 woohoos. And so is everybody ready here? So if you're listening, I'd have you unmute your mics. I don't know how to actually do that in the chat window. But what we're going to do is 10 woohoos to bring the energy up. So everybody ready? Here we go. Woohoo! Let's go, Esther. Woohoo! 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 5 more. Woohoo! 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 2 more. Woohoo! 1 more. Woohoo! And a bonus. Woohoo! And I've got to pan just a little bit over here. I know we're not trying to get you on camera, but we have Lumiere, who's partaking in the woohoos. So cool. All right. So with that said, a few little bits of housekeeping, and then we will dive right into things as best as I can. And my goal, again, is to keep this uber short, which means if you have a question that you want answered tonight, let's have you write it down quickly, because my energy may be in limited supply this evening. We'll get into that in just a little bit. First off, we're working really hard at meditations. We had to pause so that I could go down and Jessica could go down and we could go down together. And we are coming back up. And so we're working on our iMeditations subscription service for you so that you can get daily, weekly meditations, lots of stuff to help you bring your vibration up. Also, we may or may not have mentioned it last week. Strangely enough, we're one of the top self-help shows in the world, but we were mysteriously absent on Spotify. And so now we are back or fully on board on Spotify. So if you like consuming your podcast via Spotify, come on over and be sure you do that. On that note, please share our show with friends. If you love our show, if it's making a difference in your life, then grab somebody next to you and go, "Whoa, hey you, how about you come check out Inspire Nation? It's helping us. Whoa, it may help you as well." Well, I brought you closer. Your arm is closer anyway. So be sure to share us with your friends as well as subscribing to the show. And last couple things, we do still have a spot or two left for spring/summer coaching. So if you're interested, come on over to inspiranationshow.com/coaching. Sign up for a free one-on-one strategy session with me. And also, we are 100% supported by you, our audience. I wanted to say studio audience because I'm getting excited for the studio that we are going to manifest this fall or summer in Aspen. So to support the show, to help us get our studio going, among other things, but to help us to bring you hopefully your favorite show, come on over to patreon.com, patreon.com/Inspire Nation and become a member of the Inspire Nation Backstage Pass family and friends. With that said, oh my God, has it been an interesting week? And you don't have to answer this. I know you're in the middle of typing, but if you want to just say, you can do that too. Has this been an interesting week? But you know better than to ask me questions while I'm typing on the mic. So last week I was recovering from what I was in denial of being sick while on the mic. And I had, it was that evening. It was just a week ago, 8 days ago. I don't know how you want to define it. After I finished my YouTube live last Tuesday, my fever headed way north, way north, where it decided to settle in for several days at a new norm. And I had a super high fever for, I think, 2 or 3 days. First time that I actually canceled anything. It's just not my nature. And then the fever came back down to go back up again. And we've been playing this hamster wheel of chase the fever. It turns out that on last weekend, I had gotten bit by a tick. Don't worry, there's no Lyme disease out here. Mom, if you're listening, don't worry, there's no Lyme disease out here. Anybody, if you're listening, there's no Lyme disease out here. But I had gotten bit by a tick. I had actually saved the tick. And it turns out I have something, Colorado tick fever, which I was told by the doctor today is something that recycles itself several times around. So you get a fever, it goes away. You get a fever, it goes away. Oh, I hope not, but you could get a fever and it goes away 3 or 4 times. And so it has made for a very interesting week. Now, it really leads into tonight's Ask Michael Anything, because I want to talk with you about how we can find happiness in the moment and long-term happiness. And part of that is looking for happiness in the little things in life, or what I call looking for the decadence in the little things in life. And so for myself, the most decadent thing in the world was just laying down in bed, or on the floor for that matter, which is a whole nother story. But just laying down became the most decadent experience of them all. Fighting against what is a great way to get miserable and uncomfortable. It's really a great way to torture yourself. So if I could go, oh, why isn't my fever gone? Why aren't I feeling better? Why? When I would literally sit up in bed and feel like I was falling out of my body. That would be one way of railing against what is and would make me more miserable. If instead I go, wow, I get to spend all this quality time on the pillow, on the mattress, on the bed. And instead of going, woe me, poor is me, just going, when is the last time I got to spend 20 hours a day in bed without having to go anywhere or do anything? Woohoo! These small decisions, little decisions of choosing happiness in the moment can make a very, very big difference. Now, I was fortunate, and actually I had the opportunity to cuddle with Jessica earlier tonight. It was so decadent as well. And she was telling me that she feels like I've been taking her for granted. And it's actually the flip side of the coin. I definitely get to do better. But I was feeling during this past week, I am the luckiest guy in the world for having her by my side. And so even though I wasn't emoting or expressing much more than, oh, during this week, I was certainly feeling how incredibly lucky I was to have her by my side. And that's something that you can do for happiness, is look for the things that you are appreciative of. Now, there's so much talk today about, an attitude of gratitude, and I certainly second that and say that 10 times, 100 times, but we can actually put gratitude into practice, which is when you get up in the morning, look for 3, 4, 5 things to be grateful for. Write them down. Our mind always has a negativity bias. We're always looking for the tiger that's going to jump us, or in this case, the mountain lion walking down the driveway, which we saw a few weeks ago, which was so cool. But we're always looking for the danger. That's the negative bias of the mind. We rarely go looking for the positive. If we wake up in the morning and we look for 3, 4, 5 different things to be grateful for, or we get to work. This is something that I certainly can't take credit for. Sean Acor, who we had on Happiness years ago, he talked about you get into work and send 3, 4, 5 text or emails telling somebody something positive or something that you are grateful for in them. Changes our wiring. So look for where you can be grateful for each and every morning and it changes everything. Next, set intention. It is so easy to bluff being positive when others are around. Hi, I'm positive. I'm faking it. I'm a positive guy. But then when you're alone, it's real easy to go and get all grumpy. However, if you set an intention in the morning, I am going to have a positive day today no matter what, then you become the observer of yourself and you get to look at how you are doing, and you will find yourself bluffing it for yourself, which means it's no longer a bluff. You just found a way to get happy for yourself, all by setting intention. Do things that bring you joy. Invite the fun back into our lives. Ever since we were a kid, we were told it's time to get serious. It's time to pay attention. You can have fun later. You can't have fun now. Well, I'm here to encourage you. Have fun now. And fun is a cumulative resource. The more fun you have, the easier it is to have fun. The easier it is to have fun, the more fun you have. It's something that is talked about often, that we have different set points in ourselves. Set points when it comes to our weight, set points when it comes to how much exercise we can do or we can handle before the body may fall apart, set point when it comes to our happiness as well. It's why people who are miserable, give them $1 million, they're probably still going to be miserable. It's why people who are happy, break their bones, they're still going to be happy. Please don't do that to me. But you get what I'm saying, which is we all have our set point. However, the more we feed ourselves with goodness, the more we feed ourselves with fun and pure joy, the higher our set point gets. We develop a new baseline. And you can particularly see this when it comes to people's income, which is to say, there are people who eke by $20,000, then they eke by at another income level and eke by at another income level, but they always seem to be eking by. And there are other people who seem to be thriving no matter where they're at. And if you knock them down, they find a way to get their income back up to that set point as well. This comes to gaining awareness. Am I happy? Am I not happy? Writing about it, journaling about it, doing automatic writing about it, and asking yourself, what's my set point for happiness? Why am I continuously at this state where I am? And can I do something to change this? On that note, get back to creative endeavors. Creativity comes from the gods. Inspiration, to be inspired, to be in spirit. You can't tell me why a Grand Canyon inspires you, why a painting makes you want to cry, why a rose is so beautiful. It just either is or is not to you. It's gifts that came here. Inspiration is gifts that came here wrapped around your heart. The more that you unpack, that you unwrap those gifts, the better you feel. So figure out what it is that inspires you. Is it painting? Is it drawing? Is it dancing? Is it singing? Is it making love? What is it that inspires you? And get back to doing more of it. As an example, Jessica's mom is visiting right now. Hi, Mom. And they're taking art classes. She's actually an amazing artist, probably doesn't need the art classes, but they're taking the art classes because it helps get the creativity flowing and raises their vibration up. Now, I wanted to talk real briefly about long-term versus short-term happiness. A lot of what I'm describing here is short-term, makes a difference in the immediate moment, but has an even greater effect for the long-term. Long-term happiness is not one grand gesture or even one purchase that you make that will suddenly make everything better. It's why a midlife crisis that results in the shiny widget, the shiny car, the this, the that, or the other, does not lead necessarily to long-term happiness. It's a blip on the radar. What we're looking for is a bunch of smaller decisions made over and over again that have much greater stick. What's the first and most powerful decision that you can make that has an extremely strong cumulative effect? Love yourself. Love yourself like there's no tomorrow. Look for ways to love yourself up, putting your hand over your chest and saying, I love myself. Treating yourself more kindly. Watching how you speak to yourself. All of this matters. And most importantly in this family, forgive yourself. This is one of the most important, maybe the most single important thing that you can do for yourself. For a lack of forgiveness, like resentment, is a drink you take over and over again. I don't have a time machine. If you do, please write in, let me know, would love to check it out. But because chances are we don't have a time machine, there is nothing we can do about the past. And the trick is, chances are we are doing, even if our egos don't agree with us, the best that we possibly could in the situation that took place. So we can look at it, we can learn from it. I encourage you to journal and write about it, but there is nothing you can do to change it. So taking a fork, stabbing it in your back, and twisting yourself to try to make yourself feel better by feeling worse about what took place is absolute insanity. Instead, love yourself up even for that. Not love yourself up despite that. Love yourself up even because of that. Guess what? You're human, or you're spiritual, having a human experience, and you made a human decision. It's okay. Yeah, but Michael, you don't understand this, that, the other. You're right. I don't. But no matter what it is, you get to go through the rest of this existence and every existence with yourself. So love yourself up no matter what and learn from it. See how you can do better. See how you can help others. See how you can help raise the vibration of the planet. Make it your mission to not just make amends, but turn it into the most positive cornerstone of your entire existence. And then surround yourself with love. Certainly that's kitty cats, that's puppies, that can be babies, but it means surrounding yourself with beautiful, loving people who will help encourage you and bring your energy up. We are all relational creatures. And I'm not talking about the relationships on Facebook or even on YouTube for this matter. Though I love you guys so much, you get to go out and hang with physical people. It turns out that the pixels and the devices in front of us are making us feel more isolated, more alone, sadder, more depressed. We need the personal interactions, rubbing elbows, bumping bellies, hugging, high-fiving. We need this contact. So surround yourself. Woohoo! Now, the scary part is I'm known for being a little dangerous there. All of a sudden, there was a whoa, right in my face, a hand there. But thank you. I love you too, Pookie. Surround yourself with love. And then this one sounds like a complete and total no-brainer. It's anything but. Choose happiness. If you want to be happier, you literally have to make that choice. Unfortunately, we often choose the exact thing that doesn't make us happy. Oh, I would love a great blah, 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 blah meal, but I'm not sure I deserve it, so I'm not going to give that to myself. In other words, we're not going to choose happiness. This was my whole high school bicycle racing career when I think at the time I could still have ice cream. I can't have dairy anymore. And I would not allow myself to have chocolate ice cream, which brought me great joy. Now, I'm not going to get into the health benefits or lack of benefits of ice cream and dairy and all that good stuff right now. But what I will say is this. I was denying it to myself to literally keep happiness away because I didn't feel I earned it. Michael, you don't get to have any chocolate ice cream till you do better in your race. Michael, you don't get to have any chocolate ice cream till you win a race. Michael, you won a race, but you don't get to have chocolate ice cream until you win 2 in a row. Michael, you get the idea. We all do this to ourselves. So look for where you are denying yourself of true joy, not necessarily of chocolate ice cream, although there are some definite benefits to chocolate, but I'm not going the dairy road again. But again, look for where you are denying your happiness and see if there's a way to flip it on its head and instead choose happiness. On that note, choose to work on your mental well-being. Now, that could be a psychologist, it could be a psychiatrist, it could be working with an emotion code practitioner, somebody with EFT tapping. But what I want you to do is take a journey on the inside and look at how you can peel away the layers of negativity. Yes, certainly this can be a coach like myself to help you down this path. But make the investment in yourself to get yourself lighter and get yourself happier. On top of that, make the investment. We have a fireplace going in behind me, and it is starting to get warm. Make the investment, time investment in your future by going down your spiritual path. Look at meditation. And I'm not talking just doing mindfulness so that you are more present or laser-like focus in the boardroom, though that's not a bad thing. But look at what you can do on your spiritual journal to grow a closer spiritual connection with the wisdom inside and outside of yourself, up above, however you want to call it. But dive down that spiritual rabbit hole. The more time that you spend on the spiritual path, the better you will feel, and the more, not just at peace, the more meaning I believe you'll find in your life. And dive into meaning, because when we have meaning, we have everything. And almost always that meaning has to do with helping others. And that is such a key. I mean, why am I here tonight on talking to you when I'm going, I'm not feeling 100% at my best? I get supercharged by talking to you. I'm an addict for helping others. I'm an addict for helping myself as well, which is why I'm balancing this. But we all, the studies show, study after study, oxytocin and all of these love drugs go up, up, up in ourselves the more that we work on helping others. So continuously look for opportunity to help another, and you will find yourself feeling better, not just in the short term, but cumulatively over the long term as well. Now, one thing that I mentioned earlier that we get to come back to is look at the language of how you are speaking to yourself. Not just loving yourself up, but are you critical? Are you berating? Are you picking on yourself? Or are you encouraging? Are you giving yourself a pep talk? Are you continuously lifting yourself up and saying, it's going to be okay. It's going to be all right. You can do this. Watch so carefully that language. One of the first exercises I always give my coaching clients is to grab an index card and to start to take inventory of when they are picking on themselves. And that's what I would encourage you to do this week as well. Grab an index card and make a tick mark each time that you say something negative to yourself. And see if you can work to get that down a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more. And you will find yourself feeling better and better, stronger and stronger, basically happier. Learn how to treat yourself with the kindness you would treat a stranger child that you found on the street, a lost child that's going, help me. Learn how to treat yourself with that level of kindness, and you will find incredible happiness in yourself. Feed yourself well. It is all energy. So first off is diet, the highest nutritional foods that you can, and realize we are attracted to the foods at the level of which we are vibrating. Maybe why this week, as I have not been feeling well, instead of going for my usual smoothie, I've been craving instead vegan pizzas, because maybe I haven't been at that high flying vibration. but look in terms of your diet, look in terms of your music, look in terms of where you put your attention, and look in terms of the news or the negative, worthless stimulation that we take in and take in and take in, and wonder why instead of feeling happier and happier and happier, we're feeling more bogged down, the more news that we take in. Declutter your environment. This is something I need work with this week. Jessica came into the studio and she's like, wow, look at all the clothes piling up. I've been struggling with that this week. But if you want to feel better, what are the best things that you can do? Declutter your environment, get a good shower, bath going, clean out the energy of the old. And so I can't recommend that enough. And work on your smile. The more that you smile for yourself, smile for the mirror, smile for the baby, smile for the kitty cats, the more that you smile, the more you literally release happy drugs. Now, it's Tony Robbins who says, fake it till you make it. I'm going to say the minute that you smile, you literally feel better. There's no faking about it. A smile makes you feel good. You can even take just a few seconds right now. And smile. And then invest in things that make you happy. Now, yes, that could be a shiny widget thing of that sort. But what the studies are showing is most shiny widgets have a very limited shelf life to their happiness, where the experiences have stick to them. So if I am feeling up to it at all, while my mother-in-law is here, we are going to get out to Moab, Utah, and enjoy an experience together. And consider experiences with others. I don't recall the exact way the expression goes right now, but something to the effect of food tastes better when it's shared with others. All of life experiences taste better when they're shared with others. Which brings us right back around full circle to stepping back from your digital device and getting yourself out with others. So join clubs, organizations, volunteer groups, get out to a gym on a regular basis, go to Meetup, look for a spiritual organization, but find a group that you can meet with or people that you can meet with on a regular basis, and you will feel much, much better for it. And then a couple last things here, and we'll open it up. Actually, the last thing here, then we're going to open it up to questions early tonight, is get yourself moving. This is perhaps the most overlooked and important piece. I say so many are important pieces, but it is truly one of the most important pieces for getting yourself happy, is if your body is moving and happy, you are moving and happy. When you get moving, you start to get flow going through you. You can call that chi. You can call that energy. You can call it blood flow. You can call it oxygen. The more that, you get yourself moving, and I love getting you moving out in nature, the better you will feel. There are so many beautiful, amazing spiritual beings out there, spiritual gurus, teachers, who are really struggling with their bodies. And I send them all the love in the world. And they may not be able to do anything about it. But for some of them, if they could get themselves moving, they would feel even better. And oftentimes when we go down the spiritual path, we tend to neglect the body. We think, I'm a spiritual being having a human existence. The body doesn't matter. The body matters. It really, really matters. Just sitting on the cushion, if you're neglecting your body, becomes painful and uncomfortable. So the more you get your body, get strong in your body, get to the gym, lift some weights, get out on the trails, go to a mountain, swim in the ocean, the more that you get yourself strong, the happier. If not done to try to necessarily win a race or push myself to the limit, that might be fun. But if it's done for the health and well-being of your body, the stronger and healthier, and most importantly, happier you will feel as well. So with that said, going to open it up to some questions. Then I've got a short coaching session tonight, and I am getting to bed early. That is for me, my woohoo. So I'm going to turn it over to Jessica here and see if we have any questions.
We have a question from Lori who asks, can we get an inspiration perspective on the fire at Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris, France? Everything happens for a reason, right?
So, Lori, that's a brilliant question, and I literally found out about it about 2 minutes before going on air. I don't regularly check the news, but stories do chase me down. I don't know from a physical perspective why it happened. The little bit that I read suggested maybe it was because they were literally doing a renovation, a very long-term renovation. I have no idea if that's the story behind the story or if that's just the start of things to come. It is sad. While there can be a spiritual significance to everything, Lori, and something absolutely beautiful may well come out of this, that doesn't mean that we didn't deny the emotions, deny the humanity, or say, oh, there's just a spiritual reason for that. It's not a big deal. Tragedy is tragedy, and tragedy can be, by definition, is incredibly sad. Loss is loss. And I started crying when I heard that news because, I mean, I've seen the cathedral, but I've seen it from the outside. I haven't seen it inside myself. I know I'm crying about a cathedral. Jessica's looking at me a little strange, but that really touched me hearing about that. Never deny the emotions. Never deny the emotions behind anything. A loss is simply that. And now, what great thing can come out of this? Maybe it's something to do with the community. Maybe it is people coming together. Who knows what specialness can come out of this? It's a tragedy when you lose something that's been part of human consciousness for 9 centuries or more. But you just never know. So a brilliant question. I'll keep you updated as I learn more as well. Do we have another question?
I just wanted to let you know that Hawken wrote, no one knows how the fire started at this point, and Romy wrote, officials consider the fire an accident, possibly as a result of the restoration work, like you mentioned. Yeah.
So I guess the only good news that I know of so far is structurally they were able to save the 2 spires, which I'm guessing means they can rebuild. I don't know what was lost on the inside. I have no idea. That one makes me really sad. That one makes me really sad. All right. Do we have another question? Or?
Yes.
All right.
Our next question is from Romy, who's in Mexico.
Hey, Romy in Mexico.
I have a question about finding my purpose. I have my YouTube channel, and I like to know if it's a good idea to grow it as a passion project, but I would like to make money too.
So, Romy, that's a brilliant question. And so many authors talk with us about passion. And to me, it's a fascinating topic. Somebody was recently telling me that passion originally came from, was it pain or torture, suffering? That was the original origin of the word, like Passion of the Christ.
Was that from the authors of the Passion Paradox?
That was probably from the authors of the Passion Paradox. Yes, I'm going to agree with that one. I view passion as we can have many passions in our lives. We get wrapped up around the concept or idea that there is one passion, one purpose, one this. And if we don't find that, and if we don't do that, then our life is a waste. And I consider that line of thinking a waste insofar as it tortures. There's the real suffering, is thinking, I have to find this one thing that's going to be the salvation for my entire existence. Instead, every small little thing that we do can be the salvation of our existence, meaning can be amazing and enjoyable and fun. When it comes to building a YouTube channel or any creative endeavor, I say dive into it with all that you've got without quitting your day job, so to speak, and have fun and play with it. Now, if it becomes a driving force where you eat, sleep, dream it, and you say, this has got to be my financial source, then look at ways that you can do it. But first, I want you to play with it and stoke the flames and get excited about it. Then you can look at how to monetize. And YouTube, from our experience, is a very slow, long-term process. There are a few rare exceptions of people who do incredibly well overnight. So I don't want to give you a limiting belief and say it's not possible. But much better that you do it for the pure joy of building that channel. And then look at how you can monetize over time. With Inspire Nation itself, we first started doing interviews a year or more before, for a completely different program, and found how excited I was, over the top excited. Then we started to build a show, and then we had to figure out how to monetize it. So I don't want you snuffing out the enjoyment in it by trying to monetize first and then build second. Instead, I would rather you follow that energy and that flow, Romy, see where it goes, and then start plugging in the pieces of monetization over time. These type of artistic endeavors, I don't say it as a parental figure who says, well, I wouldn't quit your day job. But what I would say is, make it a hobby for a while. See what you can do. Get all excited about it. And then see if you want to make that leap. Much better to instead use your current position as your investor or your stakeholder in your future. And it makes the transition a lot smoother, a lot easier, and I think kinder and gentler on everybody involved. Beautiful question, Romy, and enjoy Mexico.
That's it.
That's it. All right, I want to see if you have anything that you would like us to add. I was hoping to wrap up by the top of the hour, so we are in perfect timing, or to see if your mom has anything that she would like to ask or to add.
Oh, she wrote, when you've lost a loved one, how do you get out of the blue?
That's a brilliant question. That is.
Did I read that right? Yes.
When you've lost a loved one, how do you get out of the blue? And I believe that, first off, there is a healing journey that you get to go through. There is no, well, it's been 2 weeks, it's been 6 weeks, it's been a year, it's been 2 years, it's been whatever, that you suddenly check that off and you're out of a funk. There's a lot of learning, a lot of healing, a lot of growing. Jessica and her mom just went to a healing event, an artistic healing event, which I think pointed out how much healing gets to be done on the losses. And I don't see that as a bad thing. I think metered doses, because that sounds like it was incredibly heavy experience.
I started crying on the drive over.
Wow, I didn't get this bit of information.
It was an art class in which we used visual journaling.
Yeah.
To basically express what's going inside the mind and the body.
Visual journaling, kind of like automatic writing while drawing, something to that effect?
Yeah, drawing or collaging, or just, there were a really wide variety of tools. Yeah. Just anything that was visual, yeah, to get it out.
And that second part to me is so important, the to get it out. I think we have to bring it up and out from inside. Maybe part of the crying over the cathedral in me has nothing to do with the cathedral at all. I still have healing to do as well. So, Esther, in answer to your question, we get to bring it up. We get to examine it and look at it and really get comfortable with the sadness, with the discomfort. And then we get to look at, over time, what can I do to plug back in more happiness into my life? What can I do to go back to the things that give me greatest joy? And what can I do to surround myself with people that bring me great joy? When we first are in mourning, we tend to, as any animal would do, we tend to hide and become reclusive. And we get to bring ourselves back up or back out. But I think the most important thing we can do in the healing journey is really grow closer with ourselves and learn about the emotions that are in there. With that said, Esther, we're going to do some emotion code work with you this week. We're going to do some tapping work with you this week. We're going to do lots of, I'll put it in quotes, fun stuff that I get to do as a coach with you to see if we can lift some of the layers off. But it's still a process. I've been working with Jessica since the miscarriage, and I get to do a lot more. But it's not like I'm going to do one round of X, Y, or Z, and suddenly you're going to feel much, much better.
Right. Well, I feel like the miscarriages and the art class kind of broke my heart open even wider, and I started to tap into a whole. I don't even know what to describe it. It was like opening the floodgates to a lot of sadness from life.
And
You know, going back to like when I was a kid and like losing hamsters.
And we can dive into each one of those. We can work on peeling away those layers. But to me, I want to focus on that. That's all positive to me, actually, because it's all healing that gets to be done. But that, oh, you first.
Well, I think that was part of the reason why the miscarriages happened.
I think cracking open is always a good thing. The timing may always be suspect or terrible at best, but those cracking opens are for our highest good and
Yeah.
really help us truly live more.
For me to finally address a bunch of emotions that I had stuffed.
Mm-hmm. So my homework assignment for you
Mm-hmm.
would be to take inventory. So before we meet next time, go back through your life, timeline it as you can, and look for all, it sounds sad. I guess there's no other way to put it. Look for all the sad moments in your life so that we can address and work to clear each of those.
It's a really long list.
I'm down for it if you are. So that's where we get to go. That's where I get to go with Esther as well. So, and Esther, did you have a second question there? Nope. And Jessica, did you have any questions, thoughts, or anything that you would like to add?
Just that if you sign up for a free strategy session with Michael, if you're interested in private coaching, please take it seriously. He's booked out till May at this point, and I think pretty soon June. So these spots are really valuable.
Yeah.
So it's important that you mark it in your calendar so that you actually show up.
We would greatly appreciate it. And I say that all jokingly, but we do mean that seriously, because when you take a spot, and I am happy and honored to speak with you, but it means that somebody else can't.
Exactly.
So I guess it'd be the golden rule of one-on-one coaching spots. So with that said, come support the show. You can do so by visiting us at patreon.com, patreon.com/InspireNation, and become a member of the Backstage Pass or Inspire Nation family. And share the show with friends, with loved ones. Bring them over, get them invited, invite them to a Tuesday evening with you, or have them check out the show. Heck, you can go onto their phone and you can just subscribe and go, look at this new show, this new cool show that I've just subscribed you to. Haha. And get them hooked on Inspire Nation for their better good and for the highest good of all as well. Again, we just got back on, I don't even know how it works, but we're on Spotify. So if you're on Spotify, come subscribe and join us over there. And then we'll be having more on iMeditations over the next week as well. From here, I am going to go and take about a 20-minute break and lay down before I do a brief coaching session. Any last things you want to add, Jessica or Esther? Is there anything that you would like to add? That she did the cutest.
It kind of reminds me of me.
You think?
Yes.
All right. Any last words of wisdom from anybody?
I just keep thinking about, so when I was doing my visual journal,
Yeah.
and I didn't actually finish, but I just kept thinking about that that metaphor of the lotus grows out of mud.
No mud, no lotus.
And I was just thinking, that's what this time period is right now.
I think there's a lot of burning away. And, if I look at the spiritual significance of the fever over the last 10 days.
I mean, I can show you what I did.
Please do. We would love to see it. Oh, this is good.
And the idea is not to make it pretty. It's not about the outcome, it's about the process. But this is basically what I had started. So look, there's the fire that's burning away. And what's really funny is it's supposed to be organic. It kind of just creates itself. And this was supposed to be like a golden egg. And afterwards, I was like, oh, it kind of looks like a tombstone.
I was thinking it was a log with rings on it.
With a cross. Yeah, well, it is. But
a tombstone and fire. Oh my gosh, where's the brimstone?
So that's what I was processing. And this was beginning to envision the future.
So very, very cool. How does it make you feel looking at it now?
The perfectionist in me is like, I want it to look pretty. and the voice in my head is going, I just showed people like
your subconscious
this thing, and it's a little embarrassing.
I think it's the coolest thing.
But you know what I was also thinking is that there are elements here that I've still brought over to the future, because the future is built upon what happened in the past. So, this is a sun, but it also looks like the fire over here. And there's rays here, but it's also the same material as this wooden egg / tombstone.
I love it.
So,
and tell us about the kitty.
Oh, well, I love our kitties. So there had to be a kitty. There'll be more. Yeah.
Very cool. And I guess that would be the last note, which is each element of sadness is a seed for future happiness. It really is, I'm laying there on the bed going, oh, knowing something special will come out of it.
Yeah, and to me, it feels like all that sadness and grief is just getting pulled out of me.
More excited for the future?
I'm not quite there yet. I'm still in the muck and the mire.
Yeah. And that's okay too.
I mean, I know this is temporary and it'll pass. But, I was getting excited. Because I was like, I can't wait till I have my energy back. Because first trimester of pregnancy is very exhausting. And for those of you who don't know, we had 2 miscarriages almost back to back. I've basically been pregnant for the last 6 months with a month off.
With a friend who passed away right in the middle.
Yeah. And I forget where I was going with that.
That you are starting to get excited for the future.
So I was starting to get excited about having my energy back and feeling normal again. And I don't want to try and get pregnant right away, because I just want to get my energy back and live again. And then we got knocked down with these colds that wouldn't go away. And then yours.
Well, 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks into the cold, which still hasn't gone away, which is now 3.5, almost 4 weeks. 2.5 weeks in, I got the tick bite heard around the world, which turned into Colorado tick fever.
Yeah.
Which has led us 8 days down the road here, where, I'm like, I want to rock it. I want to run mountains. I want to, do all this fun, amazing spring stuff. But that's not apparently where I'm supposed to be at right now.
Right. So,
and that's okay too.
Yeah. And same with me. It's like, okay, no, you get to incubate and hibernate and process some more.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You just, what can you do but surrender?
I love that you say that. And that was a theme I was talking about, joking about on the show last week, the I surrender. It is so important that we let go during these times as best we can of our intended outcome. I want to be doing this by this date. I want to be doing that by that date. We get to launch this by... We will drive ourselves, my ego in particular, mad if we try to hold on tight to those things when what we really need is to put ourselves back to bed, for instance. Mm-hmm. And so we have to say spiritual significance to everything. There is a reason for this. I'm just going to step back, let go. And as time permits, everything will take care of itself. And so far, at least based on our 2 miscarriages, and so I have no reason to doubt that this last week or multi-week fire that we've gone through, so to speak, I don't even like using that term, multi-week healing that we have gone through will draw us closer together. I look forward to that.
Well, it was the first time we've both been sick at the same time.
It's true. For bonding.
Which is really hard because usually you rely on the healthy person to take care of you and everything. But
which is why we have, again, Mom in the background who has showed up here, who now I think we've also gotten sick.
That's because she's processing too. She just retired.
She did. Congratulations,
which is up there among the top most stressful life events.
It is true.
With moving, marriage, death,
divorce, all that good stuff. All right. Anything else? You've really perked to life. No pressure.
Any questions? Oh, thanks for your kind words, everyone.
Thank you so much for your kind words. All right. I guess we'll call it good. And I'm going to go take a little bit of a nap.
All right.
So great job, Pookie. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. I want you to know, if you love the show, it's all because of her. She sets everything up. She runs everything. That was good. That was really good.
No, but my mom really did support us when we when we really fell apart.
Yes.
And we came crawling back to New Jersey and lived with my parents for 2 years.
And so, in all seriousness, this show would not
This show
exist.
happened. This show was given
life
under her roof.
So, this show has been brought to you by Esther Lee. We have to come up with a theme song. All right, we send love. I know I think a question or so came in, but I think we call it good for today and get me just a little bit of rest. So Simply Divine, I just want you to follow your heart. And I know that sounds way too simple, so I want you to write about it. I want you to journal about it. I want you to put your hand over your heart and start to feel it out. And we can talk more about purpose, path, and direction next week. I think that could be a really fun topic for next week. So sending all my love to everybody.
Thanks for watching, everyone.
Thanks for watching. Shine bright.
Aww.
Awesome, Esther. Share, subscribe, Spotify, all that good stuff. Support, love.